why we're here. How does that sound? Okay, next slide, please. Am I controlling these, or is someone controlling them for me? Okay, good. I like to control it. Thank you. Okay, so we're here actually to forge a partnership with the City of Gilroy. And a partnership that will help to strengthen your arts and culture and creative community. But it's important that you know that we want to do this in alignment with your values and your priorities. So tonight is about introducing you to us. I promise in the future we won't be talking about ourselves. And as we start this journey, it's developing relationships in Gilroy, as well as listening to your community. So that's what our first steps are. So just to put it in perspective, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we have a small staff, annual budget of about $2.5 million. Our funding is from institutional funders, so we don't get funded by individuals as much as we do government, corporations, foundations. And we're also the designated local partner for the state of California, and are in deep partnership with the County of Santa Clara. In fact, Supervisor Wasserman knows we're here, and they're excited that we're actually taking this step. We are a network of leaders that care about the cultural ecosystems within our communities, but we also value how the arts can transform our communities. And we would hope that the journey that we're about to take together is that we can bring value to Gilroy on that same journey. So this is just an example of we do a lot of gatherings, hosting, and in fact, we're hosting a gathering with your artists and artist community this Saturday at Neon Exchange. And so if you can come by then, that would be great. I want to talk about the three things that we do. The first one is capacity building. And essentially, it's dedicated to building and strengthening the organizations and the artists that produce art and present art. So we are grant makers. We develop conferences and workshops that bring management tools to the leadership of our ecosystem. We also do research studies. In fact, we just published the Business of the Arts in the Business Journal. I don't know if any of you saw this. We're leaving copies for all of you. So that will be a leave behind. And then we're also concerned about space and service solutions, because the arts are businesses and they need services and space to do their work. And we also have a particular interest in building the next generation of cultural leaders. Here's just one of our workshops. We do many. We do dozens during the year. The second category after capacity building is visibility. So we are advocates at the federal, state, and local levels on behalf of the arts ecosystem. We also publish Content Magazine. I don't know if any of you have seen it. We've got copies for all of you, and most recently, I guess it was last year, that we featured your local gallery and the leader. So the story's in here. We'll leave that behind for you as well. We're promoting arts and cultural events, and we also showcase our local artists through two programs, Artists and the Poet Laureate. And so these are some of the things we want to bring to Gilroy. So wouldn't it be wonderful in the future if we had a Gilroy County Poet Laureate that was from Gilroy? We also host parties and creative conversations. So Content Magazine, that's another one of our covers, if you will. The next category, so build the capacity, raise the visibility, is to actually increase accessibility, especially to groups that are disenfranchised and or don't have access. So we have a program that's called Arts Ed Connect. We've actually done some of the Gilroy schools with that, which brings arts education programs into your schools. We do access grants for organizations that can serve high-need communities. And then we lead initiatives that, depending on the community, in the case of, some of you may have been at the Mexican Heritage Plaza, we actually incubated the School of Arts and Culture there and then spun it off as its own nonprofit. We also have a hub in Juvenile Hall and provide teens with access through the studios, and we call it the studio. and also the community schools. And lastly, we do have a program that is transforming a wing of the Valley Medical Center. So the common thread here are that it's serving communities that are high need, okay? So just an example of our studio program. And so kind of to the bottom line, where are we getting started, okay? We are trying to learn more about Gilroy. We don't know your community like you do, and so we're going to be talking to civic and cultural leaders like yourselves over the next several months and years. I told you about the artistic convening on Saturday. It's just the beginning, and we want to engage with your community. So we're rolling up the sleeves. This isn't just a one-time event. It's a journey that we want to go on with you. We're also wanting to identify opportunities that are specifically customized for Gilroy. And that means we're proactively seeking ways to invest and looking how we can integrate Gilroy into our networks. So we have this whole host of programs, and historically, Gilroy has been underserved in our county, okay? So we're here because you've been underserved, and we're making an intentional effort to expand that service to Gilroy. We have, just to give you an example of an opportunity, we have a funder that has approached us who wants to help with a mural in Gilroy. It is Blue Shield, and they are dedicating $15,000 to this effort, and we're going to do an RFP within your community, with your community leaders, to have a youth-led installation of a mural in downtown Gilroy. So this is just an example of what we hope to bring to your community. With all that said, we'd like to work closely with your Arts and Culture Commission and develop sort of a memo of understanding of how we can work together, and that documents our areas of interest and opportunities, and then that becomes just a documentation that we essentially commit to on our end. So we're asking you to accept our offers of working with you, and hope that you will support us working with your Arts and Culture Commission. So I think I'll end there, and I don't know if you, how did I do on time?
You do with 8 minutes, so it's not bad.
Okay, I'll
bad.
take it. It was a 15-minute presentation.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're supposed to be told ahead
That's
of time,
okay.
so I'll have to work on where that, breakdown is.
I'm sorry too.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Were there any questions?
That's what I'm here to ask. Yep. Does anybody have questions? I know I am meeting with you next week or the week after, so we can continue the conversation. Anybody have questions? Yes, Rebecca?
Can you give us examples of the kind of work you do in neighboring communities?
Oh, yes. So we work with, I'll give you an example of Milpitas. We're working with their Arts Commission, looking for opportunities to add organizations to our grant portfolio. We work closely, as you would expect, with the City of San Jose and not only their Arts Commission, but the Office of Cultural Affairs. I did forget to mention that in Gilroy, we have funded the Poppy Jasper Festival for years. I did mention we work with schools, and I think that the message that I want to give you is that we will customize our work with the community depending on what you need. So for example, we are developing this arts web, which connects service providers to arts organizations, and with cities, depending on where they are, we would bring expertise to their city based on this network, this web of service providers. And so it could be as simple as a mentor for a newly started arts commission. How do you do it? What do you do? Various things like that. But and we customize it.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Hilton?
Thank you. I'm looking forward to Saturday as well, and thank you for being here tonight. Does SVCreates have representatives on its board or committees that are from the South County or Gilroy area?
We do not currently.
Okay.
We do not. Honest answer.
So how would you go about recruiting, whether it's nominees for the poet or other artistic awards, or our community members to become more involved with you?
Yeah, so what we're hoping in this partnership is that we have point of contact within Gilroy, so when we have opportunities, like we have an upcoming event that focuses on new artists, emerging artists, and we would look to you to help us connect nominations for that, nominations for the Poet Laureate, and board-related. It's certainly something we can think about as we go forward, but we have to get to know each other first.
Thank you.
Yep, right up the commission, the